Hello everyone, it's Rick Arter here and you're watching Computer Tech TV. Today's video I just wanted to quickly let anyone know who is new to the Gigabyte boards, and if you're wondering why you're getting this system voltage not optimized message, basically there's nothing really wrong here, especially if you're running at stock clocks. Basically what happens is you can see here at the CPU host clock control. Now if I set that to auto, it goes away, because mainly when it's on auto, that's default. You know, it's not overclocked at all. Basically what happens is when you set on manual, they just are letting you know that if you're setting on manual, you're basically going to start overclocking. So when you start raising your frequencies and your multipliers on other things, they're basically just letting you know that you need to optimize your voltages, and by optimizing your voltages you need to set them manually. And on the right side here on most of the boards, it'll tell you what the default voltage is. If you have it on auto, or if you have it on, basically when it's on auto, it's going to be what it is on the right, and then you want to manually set it to what it is on the right, because that's going to be the default voltage for stock clocks on your setup. So basically what you need to do is start there, and then you can raise your voltage accordingly. And as you can see there on my CPU voltage control, I actually have that at negative 0.0 or negative 0.1, and that's mainly because the default V-core for this Phenom 2 555 dual core is set to 1.425, which is way too high. So I have it set to 1.325, which is actually slightly higher than what it really needs. It can go a little bit lower, but with V-droop and all that, it'll come out just about where it needs to be when I'm booted up in Windows and under load. And other than that, really, it's mainly when you're default, if you do set it to manual host clock control, is your DRAM voltage control, which is the control for your memory. And you want to either set that on 1.5, which is the DDR3 default, or if your memory has tighter timings or higher frequencies, because it'll set it to 1333 just right off the bat, and that's going by I believe it's JDEC or XMP profile. I think it's JDEC, and so it'll automatically set it to 1.5 and 1333, and then usually whatever the default timings are, like 99924. So what you want to do is, for example, mine's 1600 at 1.65 at 99927. So I have it set to 1.65, and the rest are set accordingly. And you can see up here on memory clock, you can see it's at 8 times, and that is for 1600 megahertz. Like if you go in 6.66, it'll bring it down to what the default was when I first booted up, but I have it set to here. So I hope that helped you guys out. For any of you who are new to the Gigabyte boards, I'm pretty sure they've all done this even since I had a old P965 DS3 board, and I believe it did the same thing as this. So they've had this on the board like this for quite a while. So it's a good feature, but I was actually reading on overclock.net, and that's what gave me the idea to make this video, and there was someone who was kind of freaking out about it, and they didn't know why it was coming up. They thought something might have been wrong, but no, it's basically when you start overclocking, they're just kind of letting you know, like, you want to manually set your voltages, and they might not be optimized. If you start cranking the FSB up or the multiplier up, that the stock auto voltages might not be optimized. So you definitely want to set those manually to start, like you can see here. So you can maybe use this as a reference for if you have a similar CPU and you excuse me, want to start overclocking. You can go by this, because this is all just the default voltages right here. I haven't really started playing with it, but I don't want to drag this video on any longer. So if you guys have any questions about this, and I did miss anything on this, please let me know. And you guys all have a great day. Lots more videos to come.